Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the VFR CBR800 V4 hybrid build, where we are taking a 2004 Honda VFR800, basically merging it with a CBR 1000RR to make it slimmer, lighter, better looking, just more awesome. This episode is sponsored by Cognito Moto. These guys built a custom set of triple clamps except the new forks, and which meant they had to build a custom stem, custom axle. So all in all, the front end went from being this cheesy old conventional style fork to this more modern style fork. It's gonna look better, it's gonna handle better, just trickness all around. Now, if you're not familiar with Cognito Moto, these guys are awesome when it comes to cafe builds. They mostly specialize in triple clamps to do fork conversions on older CBs and bikes like that. They have a huge offering of other products. Go check them out, cognitomoto.com. And if you're building a cafe racer, they're gonna hook you up. I'm really stoked to get these back because now I can get the bike to where I can roll it. I wanna take the whole bike to the metal fab shop and get the subframe completed. Now we can get the front end done, get the, the hand controls, the handlebars all locked down, get the front fairings on. We have a set of CBR 1000 fairings we're trying to retrofit onto this bike. We can do that now. This is gonna take the build to a whole nother level. What is awesome too is Cognito Moto supplied the bearings to update the bearings on this bike. This bike had the old school bearings. When you pull the triple clamp out, little ball bearings just fall everywhere. So we've got the bearing upgrade kit. They sent this nice instructions here to show us step by step how to get that done. So step number one will be, we're gonna pull this off, get the bearing on the bottom stem, get the triple clamp on the bike, slide the forks and the triple clamps. I'm stoked, let's do it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tap out the bearing races out of the stock frame, top and bottom, make sure the new ones fit properly, especially before I press the bearing on the bottom part of the stem here. So all we do is we take a hammer and a chisel and we tap them out. Come on, baby. There we go. Nice snug fit. I'll just tap out the bottom one. Now I'm just cleaning the bearing race surface a little bit with some sandpaper, some fine sandpaper, make it drive in easier. Put the race here, and then I have a socket that is the exact same size. And it should just tap right in. You also want to drive it in until it hits the shoulder. That's when you know when to stop. All right. And then you just do the same thing to the bottom. We'll just set the bearing in there for now. That'll be greased before we install it. Turns nice and free. All right, guys, now that we got both bearing races in the frame, we're going to take this down to the metal shop and we're going to press this bearing on all the way down here to the base of the triple clamp here. So let's hit the road. All right, guys, as you can see, we're back from the metal fab shop. bearing was real easy to press on. It's not a super tight fit, so you don't have to use a hydraulic press. We just took a piece of pipe and slid it over the top, had it rest on the surface here, the inner surface, and then just tapped it down. Didn't even barely have to tap it, slid right on. So now we can put this on the bike, put the top clamp on the bike, and the clamps will be done. Let's throw a little more grease around here, just for good measure, and she'll be dialed. Now guys, when you tighten down these locking nuts here, you don't want these to be very tight. Turn your triple clamp back and forth, make sure there's no restriction, and just tight enough to where there's no restriction. And then you've got a dumper nut here that just kind of locks things in place. You don't have to tighten it very much. It's aluminum, so we just want to give it a light tap. Just kind of lock it down. There we go. And we just want to slide this on here, like so. And then you've got this locking nut here. I'm just going to do this hand tight for now until we get the forks in. Just get things in place. But it looks good. See? Nice and clean, smooth. All right, that's done. Let's check out the forks. All right, so this is the first time I've seen these forks. When I bought them on eBay, I had them shipped directly to Cognito Moto. So I never saw the condition of them. I'm not happy with what's going on here. And I kind of figured, you know, there'd be pitting and stuff going on, and that's just not going to fly on a Motopilot machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the calipers here. We're going to remove these from the bottom of the forks and get these powder coated satin black along with the front wheel here. I already had the back wheel powder coated satin black, but I didn't do the front one yet because I had to ship it out. So we're going to strip down everything on this wheel here. We're going to pull off the brake discs and pop out the bearings and send the wheel out for powder coat. When all that comes back, then we can get the front end on the bike. You know, we'll get the tire on here, good to go. All right guys, so here's the deal with the lower fork legs. I think they call these lugs, but to get these off, you have to remove this set screw, which can be really difficult, and it even looks like it takes a special tool. I'm afraid to mess with that. Usually they hit it with some heat to loosen up the Loctite. And then this part here unscrews off the lower fork tube. And I hear there's a ton of Loctite in there, and I hear it's really difficult to get off, and you gotta have a special clamp to hold the fork leg, which I don't have. So bottom line is, I'm going to take these forks to my suspension guy, Shock Therapy in Brea, California. He's awesome. My buddy Steve. I'll have him pull these off. I'll have him pop the bearings out of the wheel. We'll take everything to powder coating for satin black. I'll have him reassemble these with new fork seals, fresh oil and everything. Then we'll be good to go. But yeah, that's as far as I can go with this today. All right guys, that is it for this episode of the VFR CBR hybrid build. Feels good to be making some progress on this bike again. Not exactly sure what we will be tackling in the next episode. It depends on how long it takes to get the forks done, the powder coating done. You know, this stuff takes time going back and forth. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when the next episode comes out. Don't forget, if you want to win this bike, go to Patreon, sign up to support the series, as little as $1 per episode. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys next time.